Welcome to Chapter 2 or Part 2 of my presentation on time management. This one is information overload on time management planning. Our objectives are identify the causes of information overload and reduce it by screening, control paperwork by organizing your office and filing system, create filing systems to organize that office better, and communicate effectively to increase productivity, listening, and communication. The causes of information overload are a vast amount of information coming in from your computer, your telephone, your fax machine, and paperwork distributed through the office. Your inability to control and overload the amount of information is you waste time sorting, and you try to distinguish between what's important and what's unimportant. So, first of all, check dates. Is it old? Is it expired? If so, you don't need it, get rid of it. Consider the source. Who is it from? Is it someone important or is it just trivial office email? Find the ultimate source. Separate fact from opinion. And, by all means, unsubscribe unwanted emails. Overcoming information overload, give yourself permission not to know everything. Find out what you need to know and know it well, but dump the rest. Trash, scan, recycle. When possible, throw it away immediately. Why keep useless junk? Create and carry a reading file of reading material. Save what does not need to be read right now and save it for later, unless it's important to read now. So now you should be screening information. Not screening, you receive everything. Screening by support staff, you delegate tasks to others. Source screening, remove your name from the useless mailing list. In handling your paperwork, refer it, direct paperwork to another person, or file it in the reminder file for later. Act on it. Quickly deal with the paperwork. Write notes on the same paper. Or throw it away. Be realistic. Do you really need it? File it if you do, or throw it out. Ways to read information. Number 1, scan it. Look at the headings, look at the captions, and look at the bold print. Or you could read the entire document thoroughly, or you could study it. Make notes in margins or highlight any key points that you need to focus on or remember. Use of filing systems. Reminder. Use a calendar system on Outlook for follow-up or reminders. Or, if you have a logbook, date each task to be done. Use a tickler file, which would be like a to-do list or a reminder file. Use a planner. Use it to plan your tasks, objectives, and so forth. Files that you should create. Tickler reminder file, you can schedule that in Outlook. Ideas and plans file, make notes for ideas, project steps while they're still fresh in your mind. Reading file, store it in file for later reading. Travel file, if you travel out on business, put things in there that you can read and analyze later while traveling. And have a general file with title to remind you of the topic, items that do not maybe fit other files that you have created. Do not file routine memos. Act on them, then toss them away. Meeting announcements. Schedule on your calendar and then delete the message. Pre-revised policy memos. Delete or file them. There's common misconceptions. People always understand you. Not true. You are a good listener, but are you really? Your writing is always clear and concise. People understand what you're saying. Your actions are always consistent with your words. You have all the communication skills you need. Again, these are misconceptions. You really need to take a better look at them. First of all, communicate effectively. Know that nothing is self-explanatory. Check for clarity from your listeners or viewers of your email. Explain all the technical terms. Sometimes everyone does not understand the company acronyms and specific terms. Answer expected questions. Try to foresee questions that you're going to get asked and answer them now so you don't have to get the communication asking about that information. And warn against common mistakes. Anticipate what listeners might do with the new information and prevent any mistakes that could occur. Listening minimizes the probability of miscommunication. Restate what you heard. If you're not sure, play it back just by saying, if I understanding, you said. Interpret also what you hear. Watch for nonverbal signals like body language. Ask questions, and again, restate the purpose for understanding. The more you concentrate, the more productive you'll be. Focus on listening. How do you develop focus? Acknowledge your distractions. Deal with your worries. Get them out of your mind. Clear your mind of everything. Use your to-do list to stay on track. And schedule your distraction. Include mental breaks in your day for a break or for lunch. Technology and the use in time management. Stop stressing, start living. Technology and time management objectives we're going to cover is going to be use the computer and telephone technologies to save time instead of wasting time. Maintain a reasonable workload by being able to say no when appropriate. Technology does help you save time, but only acquire the technology you need. Don't embrace a bunch of tools and programs if you don't need it. Learn only what applies to you. Don't waste time learning tech that you don't need. Create a time with no interruptions, a quiet place for you for learning. Computers, believe it or not, can waste time. Computers lead to waste of time by using social media, email, web surfing, etc. Computers create information overflow. Learn how to research better. Organize your electronic files saves time. Create folders and organize by the category. How do you organize electronic files? Well, create a file system for document files. Create a file system for stored email and fax messages. Organize the system. Transfer documents into the appropriate electronic folders. Create a computer desktop to access files and applications easily, thus having the ability to put your fingers on anything at a moment. Organize your emails. After reading an email, act on it immediately. Delete those messages you don't need. Don't let them build up in your box. Create storage files for emails you wish to save. Get them out of your predominant inbox. Always read the subject line when handling an email. Send requests to stop junk mail. Schedule time to check your emails. In other words, not every time it pops up. Turn off notification devices. Be selective when disclosing your personal email address. That way you don't get junk mail that's not needed. Use just one mailbox for your personal email. Some productivity types. Minimize the distraction of a pop-up box by turning it off or setting it to check every hour instead of every 15 minutes. Take action on each email. Delete it, file it, reply, or act on it. Use templates and autoresponders for standard messages. Set up your signature file with the contact information. Important. Turn emails into calendar appointments or tasks. Avoid using your inbox as a to-do list. Write less text. Keep messages short, brief, and to the point. Focus on those easy emails that you can give quick replies to first. And use the rule setting to automatically send certain messages into designated folders as they arrive. Proofread your emails before you send them. My advice is read it out aloud. Believe it or not, your mind will see it one way, but when you read it out loud, you'll catch any mistakes or things that you want to alter. Use copy and paste commands as you would in word processing to save time. Write descriptive subject lines with calls to action to catch attention of your viewer or for ease of filing. If forwarding a message, put your comments at the top for clarity. Use the BCC for bulk emails, but remember, be careful to reply to only the person you intend. I have done that before, where I reply to all and the wrong person got the message. Avoid unnecessary punctuations and acronyms, and avoid using emoticons. They don't do anything other than distract. Keep in mind, the more you follow good email formatting and etiquette, the more likely you're going to receive it in return. And this helps increase your efficiency. Setting expectations is important. Get others in the habit of knowing when you will be processing your email. If it's important, follow up to ensure that it reaches its destination. Some additional time savers, again, unsubscribe or remove your email address from unwanted or unread mailings. Keep an address book to save email addresses in case something happens to your computer program. Delete messages with attachments after you save them to your hard drive. They take up a lot of server space on the system and will prevent future problems. Some points to remember. You control your email. When you process it, how you use it, and setting these expectations with others. By checking email only at certain times of the day, you may find that many issues will be resolved on their own. Organizing your faxes. Send and receive your faxes through the computer. Delete all unwanted fax documents. Organize fax documents into their respective folders of importance. And now I ask you, what do you do when it takes time for your mailbox to open? You don't understand a particular feature in the software. A website takes a long time to load. Your computer stops responding. The printer doesn't respond when you try to print. You are searching for a file. Are you wasting time? Figure out what you could be doing while these things are taking place. If you're going to open a website, click on it, but take care of something else on your email while you're waiting for the site to load. Use your internet time wisely. Create bookmarks. Keep a record of interesting and useful websites. Familiarize yourself with different search engines and use the one that best fits your needs. Do not become overly curious and check everything. And don't upload multiple search bars. You don't need Bing, Yahoo, Google, DuckDuckGo, and all of those. You only need one or two. Telephones also waste your time. Don't answer every call immediately. Check your caller ID. Is it somebody you really want to talk to? Enable your voicemail to answer your calls during a project when you don't want to be disturbed or interrupted. Minimize your call time. Plan your calls in writing. Focus on the subject of the call. Stand up while talking, and the reason for that is you won't be comfortable, so you'll be anxious to get off the phone and sit back down. Place a time limit on each call. Develop verbal messages to end a call. And use a voicemail to your advantage. Reasons for doing too much. Well, people like to feel like they have a need to achieve and to show their worth. Or they might be insecure in their job position. There may be a failure to learn how to delegate other tasks to others. And you might have had unrealistic time estimates. And basically, it all evolves down to a lack of organization. And certainly, to be more productive, avoid doing too much. Prioritize what's most important first. Delegate where you can. Let others do their part. Concentrate on priorities. Get the must-do list done first. And be flexible. Give yourself room to move. Plan for the what-ifs. Make your workload reasonable. Realize you don't work best under pressure, despite what you might think. Resist taking over jobs because others are not doing them. Do not assume that everything has to be done, nor does it all have to be done by you. And overestimate time for projects so that you don't underestimate. Why we tend to not say no? Well, we're looking for gratitude and acceptance from our boss. Or we may be guilty, having the feeling that we might hurt somebody else's feelings, so we'll just go ahead and agree to do it. Fear of expendability. The belief of indispensability. You can't do everything. And the fear of disappointing friends. Pause. Pay attention to who is working with you. Analyze the situation. Think first. Utilize your decision-making skills properly. Supply reasons. Inform them why you can't do it. Maybe you're overloaded and there isn't just enough time. Or you might have too many priority projects. Examine alternative options for win-win. Any questions? I'm sure if you do, you can look into Google for more time management tips. And again, I recommend the 1 Minute Manager. Thank you for listening, and look at the next one.